Hey folks, Anthony Skinner here with the new series, The Enneagram and Team Building. This topic is really more important now than ever before, as so many of us are working remotely from home, which adds that layer of complexity to teamwork. But before we go any further, I want to introduce the host of our show, Ian Cron. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well,
I got a question for you.
Yep.
Have you finished Netflix yet?
It's a black hole, man.
Ooh, I've watched a lot of movies lately.
Yeah, tell us about a favorite documentary or movie you've watched.
Well, I think my favorite documentary or film I've seen, I watched it just the other night, is this film, Inside Bill's Brain, Decoding Bill Gates.
Wow.
Dude, it is remarkable. This guy is remarkable. And you're in this film for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes before you realize he is a serious 5 on the Enneagram.
That's awesome. Well, we're talking about fives today, but before we get to that, why don't we, on our series of the Enneagram and team building, talk about a good definition for the word team?
Yeah, so a team is a group of people with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose for which they hold themselves accountable. Now, when I first heard that definition, I thought to myself, yeah, that's really good, but I want to add just one more thing to it. So here it is. A team is a group of people with complementary skills and diverse personalities who are committed to a common purpose for which they hold themselves accountable.
That's good.
Yeah, I once heard a psychology professor and a consultant say, every team in the workplace has problems, and most of them are personality problems.
Wow, that's a statement.
Yeah, man, it sure is. And in my experience as a corporate consultant and Enneagram teacher, I think he's absolutely right. And I think the knowledge and application of the Enneagram can dramatically lessen, if not eliminate, personality problems and build healthier and stronger teams.
So you've been doing quite a bit of consulting. Why don't you tell us what happens when leaders and teams are introduced or they integrate the Enneagram into their teams?
Oh, man, that's a long list, but just a sample. It increases motivation. It improves communication. It promotes cooperation. It reduces conflict. It prevents misunderstandings. It elevates empathy. And it ensures that people feel seen, heard, and valued for the unique contribution they make to their team's success.
All good stuff. So in this series, we're going to actually answer the question, what do I need to know and do in order to effectively lead or work alongside each one of the 9 Enneagram types? And today we are talking about the 5, the
investigators.
Yeah.
Yes, like Bill Gates, right?
Right.
So as I've said in all our previous videos, it is very, very important for every person on a team to understand the unconscious motivation that drives the habitual actions, thoughts, and feelings of their fellow team members, right? So the unconscious motivation of the 5 is to gather information and knowledge as a way to fend off a world that drains them of the few inner resources they think they possess, and to prevent themselves from appearing inadequate or inept, which is kind of what they feel they are.
Wow. Okay. So what can 5s, their leaders and their fellow team members do to help optimize the investigator's performance?
Okay, well, first, let's start with what happens on teams when 5s lack self-awareness, okay? So 5s are very single-minded and focused people, which can make them strict taskmasters. And when you hear the story about Bill Gates, particularly in his younger years, he was a strict taskmaster.
Wow.
And because they often lack soft skills
Mm.
and they avoid people problems, it can make them seem heartless or disinterested in relationships with other people.
Mm. Okay. Well, what happens when we see these fives as they are healthy and self-aware?
Yeah, well, self-aware fives make incredible team members. Fives on teams bring an objectivity that makes them a great source of wisdom and advice.
Mhm.
As team members, fives are valued for their cool, clear, analytical minds, and like Gates, they're often incredible, innovative pioneers, right?
Mhm.
Now, fives, they often choose careers as engineers, researchers, teachers, computer coders, but they can pretty much do anything, really. We don't want to limit them to those competencies. Because they stay calm in crisis, though, they also make great emergency room doctors and EMTs because, man, they just are able to keep their emotions to the side and focus on what needs to be done in the moment.
Oh, that's a gift. So
Yeah.
let's give our people 3 tips to help fives become great team members or leaders or working with fives. Tell us about the fives with 3 tips.
Okay, so tip number one, allow prep time. If you're on a team with a five, remember they don't like to be unexpectedly put on the spot. So never ask a five to spontaneously say a few words or, call a meeting without their knowing the agenda because they'll be afraid you're going to call on them spontaneously and they won't have an answer. So allow them ample time to prepare.
Mm, that's good. Tip number 2.
Be predictable. Fives, like several other numbers, really need predictability. So if fives know what demands are going to be placed on them every day, like they'll know then how to wisely apportion their inner resources so they'll make it home without running out of gas.
Okay. So tip number 3.
Respect space and time, right? Make an appointment and check in on a regular basis with fives, but keep it brief, to the point, and professional. Okay. Um, Fives don't want to be asked, "How do you feel?" so much as, "Tell me what you think."
Mm,
Right? So respect their space and their time and make sure that you're speaking to them in a manner that will most likely open them up to a wider conversation.
okay. So allow prep time,
Mhm.
be predictable, respect space and time. Do you have a closing thought?
I sure do. I've been reading a lot of Brene Brown lately, and she's got a great one for fives. She says, "What we know matters, but who we are matters more."
Mm.
Being rather than knowing requires showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Now, that is a great, great word for fives, right? They need to show up and let themselves be seen, open their hearts more to relationship and to vulnerability.
Mm. That's a powerful closing thought. And we hope all of you out there have gleaned a lot from this episode of the Enneagram and team building as it relates to fives. We hope you're encouraged out there, fives, and we can't wait for the next episode of Enneagram and team building. Until then,
See you later.
see you later.